Hey, what's going on? Ryan Nolting here. We are going to do our first, what we're calling a winter warm-up show for Major League Baseball for the 2023 season. We are going to first discuss and assess what's happened so far in free agency, what's happened in a couple of trades that have happened. Let's start off with the New York Mets. Big offseason for these guys. Justin Verlander, right? Comes off a Tommy John surgery and helps Houston win a World Series. He wins the Cy Young. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball still, even at his age. I think he's 38 or 39. They signed a 2-year, $86 million deal. They also pick up Edwin Diaz. They signed him to a 5-year deal. So they got their closer down. Of course, Max Scherzer's already there. Brandon Nimmo, another nice pickup. Jose Quintana, who pitched for the Cardinals last year down the stretch and helped them to the playoffs. He was fantastic. Big offseason for the New York Mets. Aaron Judge, as he should, signs again with the New York Yankees. Of course, the Giants were flirting with him. Last year, he broke the American League home run record by hitting 62, passing Roger Maris, a record that had lasted for 61 years. Aaron Judge re-signs with the Yankees. He needs to be in pinstripes. I think he's one of the faces of baseball, and he needs to be there. The Yankees also pick up Carlos Rodon. They also re-sign Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo has been good since he's been in New York, and he's been a winner throughout his career. Jacob deGrom signs with Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers over the years have shown that they are willing to spend some money, and maybe sometimes they're willing to spend money ill-advised. He signs a 5-year, $185 million contract. He's a pitcher that's been hurt really. He's been hurt most of his career. And when he's healthy, he's probably the best pitcher in baseball. How do you give him a 5-year deal? I don't know. But they did. Nathan Eovaldi is another player that Texas has signed. Nice move. Philadelphia Phillies made a huge splash, an early splash in free agency when they took the first shortstop off the market by giving Trey Turner an 11-year, $300 million deal. Trey Turner's a nice player. He led the Nationals to a World Series a couple of years ago. He was good for the Dodgers. Is he $300 million good for 11 years? I don't know. He's going to get on base. He's going to score some runs. He can steal a bag. He plays pretty good defense. Taijuan Walker also signs there. Is he... so they steal Walker from the Mets, right? So taking somebody out of the Mets camp, adding him to your camp. Craig Kimbrell, aging closer. Let's talk about San Diego. So San Diego at the trade deadline in 2022 go out and they pick up Juan Soto. They can't advance in the playoffs, even with Soto in a stacked lineup this year. After Tatis comes back from a steroids suspension, they're going to have Soto. They're going to have Tatis. And they're going to have Xander Bogaerts. So Xander Bogaerts signs an 11-year, $280 million contract. I don't know what to think of that kind of money. I don't know what to think of that kind of length. Xander Bogaerts is a nice player. He is going to be their shortstop, which could then pushes Tatis out into the outfield. They also signed Matt Carpenter, who had a resurgence with the Yankees last year, got hot, helped them go to the playoffs. They just signed Nelson Cruz, who's 40-plus years old, but could still hit you a bomb. I think it's a nice move there with Cruz and Carpenter. That's a loaded baseball team down in San Diego. Do they have the pitching to win? They certainly have a lot of hitting, and if Tatis can come back and do anything like he did, in 21, they're going to be a nice baseball team. The Cubs have done a tremendous amount of stuff. Finally, Jason Hayward's gone. They go out and sign, give 7 years, $177 million to Dansby Swanson. Dansby Swanson's a former number 1 overall pick. Helps lead Atlanta to a World Series championship in 2021. But they don't want to sign him back. So he's not somebody that they want to reinvest in down there in Atlanta. He goes to the Cubs, who have recently, won the World Series back in 2015, but have since allowed all of their players to walk. They've allowed Bryant and Rizzo and Baez and Schwarber and these guys to leave. And now Contreras is gone. But they are reloading. They make the big splash with Dansby Swanson. They do some 1-year deals with a Cody Bellinger, a former MVP. Maybe Bellinger getting out of LA can have a new start. It's certainly worth the signing. Eric Hosmer's former World Series hero with the Royals. He can have a resurgence in Chicago along with Bellinger. Trey Mancini. Maybe he moves to DH. It's another nice signing by the Cubs. Tucker Barnhart, former Gold Glove catcher for Cincinnati. Another nice move. Swanson, Bellinger, Hosmer, Mancini, Drew Smyly as well. Chicago White Sox, the Southsiders, they give $75 million to Andrew Benintendi. Again, Benintendi's a pretty nice baseball player. I felt like they needed to make a move. I'm not sure that kind of money for that guy is all that smart, but Mike Clevenger has also been added. The White Sox, are a pretty good team. Can they compete with the Guardians for that division? I think so. And Minnesota. The Astros, right? They've won the World Series. They have re-signed Michael Brantley to a 1-year deal. Michael Brantley's been a great player for them for a couple World Series. Jose Abreu, how about that signing? 3-year, $58 million. I think that's a pretty good move by them. The Dodgers, Bellinger's gone. Trey Turner's gone. They doubled down on some pitching. Before we talk about the pitching, they did sign JD Martinez on a 1-year deal, $10 million. I guess he can DH there. It's a nice move. He's an aging baseball player, but the arms that they've added, they re-signed Kershaw to a 1-year, $20 million deal. When Kershaw's healthy, he's still one of the best and craftiest pitchers in baseball, smartest guys. Noah Syndergaard gave him $13 million. Kind of like the DeGrom thing. Can Noah Syndergaard stay healthy? He has not pitched in a few seasons at 100%. Shelby Miller, they gave him $1.5 million for a year, just over the league minimum. Shelby Miller's got a great arm. Shelby Miller could see a rebound. So the Dodgers have made some moves. The Marlins, Gene Segura has been added. Johnny Cueto's been a nice pitcher for a long time. They got Sandy Alcantara down there. They got a lot of young players down there. They got Skip Schumacher as a new manager down there. I wish Schumacher nothing but the best. I like the Marlins. They're always pretty smart with their money. Twins. So the Carlos Correa situation this offseason has been very interesting. Right, he signs a long-term deal, $300 million or something with the Giants. The Giants back out after they look at the physical. He then kind of is reportedly going to the Mets just to make the Mets better. They back out, and then what does he do? He re-signs a 6-year, $200 million deal with the Twins. Twins are good. Byron Buxton's going to come back this year, be healthy. They got lots of nice players. They acquire Christian Vasquez on a 3-year deal, former catcher with Houston. It's a nice move. Joey Gallo is going to come over for 1 year. Who knows what Joey Gallo is? Joey Gallo can hit an 800-foot home run, but he could strike out, 900 times a season. The Pittsburgh Pirates have done what they should do and bring back Andrew McCutchen, the former MVP, a Pirates legend. It's good that he's going to finish his career, it sounds like, in Pittsburgh. It's a great fan base up there. I hope it works out. I hope, similar to how Albert Pujols was able to ride out into the sunset with the Cardinals. I love that McCutchen's going back to Pittsburgh. They also picked up Carlos Santana, not the famous guitar player, but the hitter who was with Seattle. Rich Hill, I don't know how old Rich Hill is. Is Rich Hill 50 yet? He's been around forever. He's played for almost every team. Rich Hill's in Pittsburgh, but you got to have arms and you got to have experience. The Giants, so they lost out on Correa. They lost out on Judge. They have some talent there. They brought in Michael Conforto. Is his shoulder going to hold up? Can he get back to his numbers from 2021? He did not play last year. And if he did, it was very little. Mitch Haniger in the outfield. They picked up Jack Peterson. I've always liked Jack Peterson. He seems like he's always kind of getting big hits at big important games. I would have liked to have seen the next team that we talk about sign Jack Peterson. The Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, you have Yadier Molina retiring. You have Albert Pujols retiring. You're entering the final season with Adam Wainwright. Of course, you have the MVP, Paul Goldschmidt, and you have Nolan Arenado. You got a lot of other young players, and they went ahead and signed former Cub Wilson Contreras to replace Yadier Molina. 5-year deal. It's a good move. You need to shore up that position. They have some young Ivan Herreras and some other players that could maybe do some catching. But we went ahead and got an all-star catcher and haven't really made a lot of other moves. Maybe there's a trade coming up. There's rumors about a trade with the Marlins, but we'll see what happens there. Wilson Contreras is a nice signing. Blue Jays do a 1-year deal with Brandon Belt, right? He's won some World Series in San Francisco. He's a leader. They also bring in Chris Bassett. Great move. He was 15-9 last year with a 3.42 ERA. He's a nice player. They gave him 3 years, $63 million. Milwaukee's done very little this offseason. They signed Wade Miley. Could there be a trade in the Brewers' future? I don't know. Guardians signed Josh Bell. Josh Bell had played for Pittsburgh, played for the Nationals, got traded over, had a good year last year with the Nationals before getting traded over, along with Juan Soto, to San Diego. They're going to be in contention with the Twins and with the White Sox for the division. We're going to do a show, by the way, on predictions for 2023. By the way, subscribe to my channel. Mainly, my channel is about music, rock, progressive rock, jazz. There'll be some content about food. There'll be some content about baseball. We're going to try to do a weekly baseball show. Boston. So Boston's let Xander Bogaerts walk. They have re-signed Rafael Devers, which is a huge move. Right? JD Martinez is gone. Mookie Betts had gone a couple years ago. Bogaerts is gone. They re-signed Devers. And they're also signed a Japanese power hitter who's played 6 or 7, 8 years in Japan to a 5-year, $90 million deal. Masataka Yoshida. He has a .326 lifetime batting average in Japan. He can hit you a home run. He's 29 years old. He's a lefty. Hopefully that works out for Boston. You want to sign these guys. You want those guys that are stars in Japan to play well when they get over here. As much as I don't like Boston for beating my team in 2 World Series in my lifetime, what do you do? Kenley Jansen, they put to a 2-year deal. I like that they picked up Justin Turner, right? Justin Turner was a mainstay with the Dodgers through some championship seasons. He's a clutch player. He's going to look good in a Boston uniform. I think he'll play well there. He's a winner, and I would have liked to have seen him play for the Cardinals. Corey Kluber, he was 10-10 last year. He had a 4.39 ERA, but he is a former Cy Young Award winner. He won in 14 and 17. 2 years ago he pitched a no-hitter, so he still has a big arm. They're banking that he can fully get back to Corey Kluber, Cy Young type candidate level. Trades. Haven't been too many trades. How about the Blue Jays trading their surplus and catching Gabriel Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to the Diamondbacks for Dalton Varsho. Varsho had 22 bombs last year. He can catch a little bit. He can play outfield. The Blue Jays, of course, have Lottie already. They have Bichette. They are looking to win. Of course, they're in that tough division with Boston and the Yankees and Tampa Bay. Can the Blue Jays break through? And lastly, on the trade front, back on the 12th of December, the A's trade Sean Murphy, catcher, Gold Glove catcher, to the Braves. William Contreras is dealt back to the Brewers, actually. I don't know. This is a great move. Last year in the offseason, they go out and trade for Matt Olson. They go out and trade for him before Freddie Freeman's even signed. Freeman ends up going to the Dodgers. That's a loaded baseball team down in Atlanta. They just got better. They've taken Olson and Murphy from the A's in a year's span. And, he's 28 years old. He's an elite catcher. He has a 120 OPS plus. He had 18 bombs last year. What's he going to do at some elevation in Atlanta? When you're playing in Oakland, that's a hard place to hit. Is he going to hit 30 bombs? Is he going to hit 25 bombs with Atlanta? Acuna's back, healthy. Ozzie Albies. Olson. You are loaded down there. Anyway, that's my winter warm-up show. We're going to come back next week. Maybe not next week, but in the coming weeks, we're going to have some more spring training activity shows. We may do my top 10 baseball players of all time show. We may do the best pitchers. We're going to do some stuff. Peace out. Be good. Thank you.